How do you feel? They ask with soothing voices. I respond with, I'm fine, I'll be okay. Some of them just accept these words at face values. Others press on and say they don't believe me. Well, obviously, you don't believe me. I don't believe me. The word fine forms in my mouth like a blatant lie. And anyways, when people ask me how I am, they didn't want to hear the truth. They didn't want some gruesome details that replayed on my mind like a DVD on repeat that I didn't have the remote to stop. I've been told people get uncomfortable when I talk about this. Imagine how uncomfortable it was to go through it. People didn't want to hear that I felt like he had hollowed me out and I didn't know how to fill the empty space within. I felt like he had carved his name inside of me. And carvings, they don't leave. You can try to carve something over them, but that just makes them deeper. They don't want to hear that I felt uncomfortable in my own body, but you can't leave your skin behind. I wanted to create a new body stitched up like a quilt, woven with love and trust, but the needle I was using for sewing kept poking me and I started bleeding out. I don't know what they wanted me to say when they asked me how I am. So what I tell them is what makes it harder is every time this happened, it was a friend. Do you know what it's like to fear friends? I read approximately 70% of sexual assault victims know their assailant. I knew mine every time. Their hands were familiar lines I had seen before, their voices those I've called on bad days. One of them even told me while his unwanted caresses were clawing at my skin that I shouldn't be afraid. He knows I have trust issues. Trust issues. Please. You have to have some amount of trust for them to contain issues. My body only knows trust like a childhood friend we lost when we were 14. It was age 14 that I learned that one word I thought I could say that would make it all go away would fall on deaf ears. I learned that one word, 2-letter, 1-syllable no would be like a sandcastle wall, and they were the waves. This life lesson of the sandcastle wall would be reminded again when I was 18. And again when I was 20. I think wet sand might hold stronger to the waves, so I wet it and pack it with my tears, hoping it would stay. But when high tide came, it doesn't matter that I was crying. When high tide came, nothing can stop the waves, and they drag you down. And maybe while you're struggling for your breath, you try a couple other words while you're at it. I mean, what do you have to lose? Try a different 1-word, 2-letter, 1-syllable. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. The only response from the waves is, it's okay. It'll feel better next time. Next time. I don't even know if I'll still be breathing after this time, because there have been many men who have hollowed me out. If you put me up against your ear like an empty seashell, you will hear the destruction of the waves from inside of me. No word will ever make this okay. These were friends, people I trusted in my life. These were not strangers in dark alleys. I'm not one to be scared while walking home alone in the dark streets. The nighttime streets have never done anything to me. It's always been that person you know that won't listen to the no, to the ow. Those people you know will be the waves, and they will tear your sandcastle walls and drag you under. And while they are touching you, they will miraculously lose translation for your words with the 2 letters and 1 syllable.